What is a PESTEL analysis? A PESTEL analysis is a strategic tool used to examine the macro-environmental factors that influence an organization, industry, or market. It helps businesses identify external opportunities and threats by analyzing 6 key dimensions: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Political factors refer to the influence of government actions and political stability on business operations. These include changes in government leadership and policies, trade regulations and tariffs, tax structures, trends in regulation or deregulation, as well as the overall political climate and international relations. These elements can shape market conditions, impact business strategies, and affect overall industry performance. Economic factors like inflation, interest rates, growth projections, employment, labor costs, productivity, disposable income, and globalization directly influence consumer behavior and business performance. Social factors like demographics, cultural trends, lifestyles, consumer attitudes, and employment shifts shape market demand and business strategies. Technological factors drive business innovation and competitiveness. Key elements include production and distribution, advances in manufacturing, logistics, and digital platforms. R&D and automation, cutting-edge research, AI, and automation improving efficiency. Customer engagement, new tools enhancing interactions and service delivery. Businesses must integrate sustainability into their strategies by addressing climate change, environmental policies, waste management, and resource scarcity. They need to demonstrate corporate responsibility, comply with emissions regulations, and meet sustainability targets to satisfy stakeholders and regulations. Legal factors, including labor laws, health and safety regulations, advertising standards, consumer protection laws, product safety requirements, intellectual property rights, and industry-specific regulations, ensure compliance and safeguard the interests of consumers, businesses, and employees while mitigating legal risks. The PESTEL analysis examines macro-environmental factors to guide strategic decisions. It's most useful for market entry, product launches, and navigating disruptions by assessing external risks and opportunities. Key for strategic planning, risk assessment, and forecasting, it's especially valuable in dynamic or regulated industries like tech, healthcare, and finance. Key uses include launching new products, developing larger external views, and factors that could affect newly launched products. Now that we've briefly covered PESTEL, let's use a real-world example with business AMD. U.S. export controls on advanced chips could restrict AMD's sales in critical markets like China, while geopolitical risks in Taiwan, home to key supplier TSMC, threaten production stability. On the positive side, federal incentives under the CHIPS Act may offset these risks by boosting U.S.-based manufacturing and supply chain security. AMD spends heavily on research to compete with Intel and Nvidia, especially in AI, cloud, and advanced computing. This impacts profits to a degree. Other economic factors include the impact of general industry fluctuations and inflation's indirect causation of decreased demand. And lastly, foreign exchange risks, which can affect earnings since 65% of AMD's sales come from outside the U.S. Socio-cultural factors mostly stem from primary revenue streams within gaming and AI, cloud computing growth. Due to the heavy reliance, subsequently, slowdowns in likewise areas have a direct impact in the company's growth and revenue. One of the largest impacts to AMD in this breakdown stems from technological factors. As chip design complexity increases, reliance on cutting-edge lithography demands more aggressive design cycles. Dependence on optimization and compatibility with major software systems and rivalry with other companies such as Nvidia hinges greatly on AMD's ability to adapt and innovate. As with all companies, the environment plays a role. AMD emphasizes energy-efficient computing to meet data center demands and B2B sustainability preferences. AMD also faces potential disruptions from key regions coming from natural threats which could destabilize production and delivery timelines. As AMD grows in CPUs and GPUs, it could face more antitrust checks. They must also protect its tech from potential copycats, simultaneously avoiding lawsuits from rivals and other competitors. A final point of contention legally would include data privacy. With the use of AI, strict rules may be enforced for proper governance. Final thoughts. Unfortunately, the nature of AMD's industry exposes them to be extremely reliant on innovation and R&D. This is exacerbated by AI expansion. Furthermore, since innovation is normally top priority, this feeds to the legal complexity of constant tech patents and protections from outside rivals. Due to less domestic-based revenue and supply, geopolitical events create a greater than normal toll on the company. In sum, AMD faces many challenges but shows promise as innovation ramps up within the ever-changing landscape that their company resides in.